folks, Steve Wiest here, and this is another episode of You Dig. And here we are, it's John Clayton Day. JC is in the house. Been looking forward to this one for a long time. So to get to all this stuff that is John Clayton, well, we're not going to be able to do it. We'd have to take 3 days for this show. But to touch on the surface of the JC oeuvre, the canon, that is John Clayton, I'm going to read from a list just to make sure I can give you just the cliff notes. Music education in jazz and orchestra throughout school, R&B groups. Very soon thereafter, he joined with the great Ray Brown via a jazz class at UCLA, and that relationship was a great one and lasted for decades. Even playing Ray's bass, so he did that as well. He goes on the road with a lot of folks right away. Monty Alexander, Count Basie. He gets his degree in bass performance at Indiana University there in Bloomington School of Music. Becomes the principal bassist in the Amsterdam Philharmonic. Founded Clayton Hamilton Jazz Orchestra with himself, John Clayton, his brother Jeff Clayton, and Jeff Hamilton on drums. And in around 1986, they found this great and august ensemble. The Clayton brothers are happening with Jeff and John. He ended up teaching at USC Thornton before it was called Thornton. Also, he's involved with so many other things. The Vail Jazz Party, the Jazz Cruise, just finished that. Lionel Hampton Jazz Festival there in Idaho. So many great things. And as we find out, just became the president of the International Society of Jazz Arrangers and Composers. So, young man is busy all the time, as we will find out as we touch on some of these things here on You Dig. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is John Clayton. Hey, folks, look, it's John Clayton. JC, look, he's in your house, man. He's right in there with you.
Guy's always sneaking up on me.
I'm so sorry about this audience, man. We need to get security. I don't know. It's way too loud.
Yeah.
Hold it down. I know, right? Come on, folks. Man, a lot of fans of bass playing composers out there today. All right. Well, here we are, and I was just mentioning in the green room, before the show started, to John. Well, first of all, full disclosure, John is one of my favorite people on the planet. The state-of-the-art human beings. I've loved him ever since I was aware of him. So anyway, there's that. I'm going to fanboy a little bit, but
thank you. I'm happy. Bring it on.
All right. Yeah, there's going to be a heaping helping. I'm going to bring it. Beyond that, we are. There's so much to the John Clayton oeuvre and the canon that I said a bunch of stuff up front in the intro, just to get like the cliff notes, the JC cliff notes, and there's going to be a mountain of links and all kinds of fun that come with the video and the audio. So we get to be musicians in virtual cars getting coffee is what we get to be. We get to just chill and hang.
Nice.
That being said, I do have, so I don't ramble, I've got the book of JC notes here.
Uh-oh.
I know. Well, there's a lot of stuff in here. I got to stay organized, or else I'll just, we'll be talking about science fiction in 3 minutes is what. and my wife will roll her eyes. But
yeah.
woo! Hey, first off, this just came up on social media. Congrats on the International Society of Jazz Arrangers and Composers Presidency.
Oh, nice.
It was just announced. How do you pronounce that acronym?
ISJAC.
It is ISJAC. I was going to try to be hip and say it. I'm a member, but I've never tried to pronounce it. So,
no. As long as you remember, that's the main thing.
Right.
But yeah, we're gonna, thank you very much. We'll hopefully do some cool stuff together. They've already established cool stuff. So just need to add my little thumbprint to it and hopefully make it even more effective, reach more
Well,
people and get more people, more writers involved.
right. Well, that's a given that you're going to do that. Just
Yeah.
having you involved and running the thing is gonna be huge.
Oh,
Uh
thanks.
yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'll even pay dues now. So
Oh, okay. We can end this interview right now.
okay then. Yep. Here's the check.
Pay your dues. Love it.
Yes. Oh man.
We've all been
Uh
there.
ain't that the truth? Well, four areas I want to get into. One is going to be the fine arts recital that just happened. Boy, I enjoyed that. And so we'll talk
Mm.
about that. I want to talk about the music and the sampler platter, the two pieces we put on there. Uh some potential extras, and then there's a surprise coming up. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, I know.
Uh-oh. Now I'm
Woo!
afraid. Be afraid.
Be very afraid. Oh man, so Greenville, South Carolina, there's a beautiful place called the Fine Arts Center. Tell us about that week, man. That looked spectacular.
It kind of was. Yes.
Yeah,
Greenville, South Carolina. They have this art center that's been going on um for quite some time. I can't tell you a year, but
yeah.
decades. And um it's high school kids. It's
Wow.
basically an arts high school. And the principal is a jazz musician.
Ah, when does
Yeah,
this
so
ever
he
happen, you know?
yeah, I know.
Uh,
So he plays tenor saxophone, and I walk into the building and you've got all these kids that are funneling in, going to their whatever, their dance or their art or their, you know, stuff, and then music, of course.
yeah.
And you hear in the hallways, in this big open hall, you hear somebody practicing saxophone, and it's the principal of the school.
Get out. Oh
Well, you
man.
walk in the morning as a student, you hear this guy practicing his sax. He's practicing long tones. He's practicing scales. He's practicing tunes.
Ah,
Yeah.
man.
So, yeah, pretty amazing
Oh,
environment. And
wow.
um, um, uh, Joe Davidian is the the director of the jazz
Oh, right,
portion,
right.
and
Hmm.
fantastic, great piano player
Wow.
and excellent teacher. Anyway, so that was I love arts high schools and things like that. No matter where they're no matter where they are,
Right,
scattered
right.
throughout the country. Um, Number one, we need them, but
Ugh.
I have to say that my son Gerald, it was an arts high school that really opened up his eyes and
Ah.
opened up his life, because he went to a middle school that was okay. And he was just
Mm.
getting into piano, doing the piano lessons, da, 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 da. By the time he got to high school, he was ready for some inspiration.
Yeah.
And the high school that we first had him in didn't really have a music program. They had a music teacher who was not doing it. And Gerald,
Wow.
he was down. He was not
Yeah.
full of life, that kind of life that you want for your kids. So
Yeah.
we found, LA High School for the Arts,
Oh,
and he
beautiful.
enrolled there, and man, did he blossom. So I
Wow.
know the importance of those kinds of schools
Oh, absolutely.
firsthand.
I wish there was more of them. It's I would like to
Yeah.
have gone to one. I mean, I had no choices. I had to go where I went, where I
Yeah.
grew up. But man, I can only
Yeah.
imagine how much fun that is.
Well, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, there were good music programs in public schools.
Yeah,
And so,
absolutely. I
yeah.
was very fortunate that way too. It was right where I was living. Little small town that has since blossomed into quite a cosmopolitan area in South Mississippi is where I was living,
Oh,
and
okay.
a place called Hattiesburg. And man, was
Mm,
I lucky! Just
mm,
because here you have the black church on one side, and then over here
hmm
you have this great music program. So it was like Education
mm.
City,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
valuable. Uh, but
Good
yeah,
on you.
and And man, how was it? See, because so I have kids as well that are grown, and one of them is a musician, but he went with cello, and he's brilliant. No brag, just fact, brilliant cello player. But you know, jazz is the last thing on his mind. He puts up with it. Okay, Dad, yeah, I'll check it out. But and
But that's
he's
okay.
good. Yeah, he's cool. He's
Yeah.
cool with it. But what? How was that? Raising a son who has, I mean, he's become a cat. He's a major voice in our music, and how beautiful! What a blessing.
Yeah, like you, we don't care what our kids are doing. Hopefully, it's legal, and
Right, right.
and and as long as they're happy, they're loving life, they're following their
Yeah.
heart. y- We're happy,
Oh man,
and
absolutely.
our it's an old saying, but you're only as happy as your saddest kid or whatever, however
Right.
that goes.
Yeah. Right.
So, when my daughter and my son are doing great, loving what they're doing, and
Ah,
life is good for me. So yeah, anyway,
that's the best.
it was um it was natural, it was organic. We didn't
Yeah.
push him into music. It
Yeah.
just happened. He and his sister at some point wanted to take piano lessons, and we said, "All right, we'll do it, but you got to do what the teacher says. If the teacher says practice 20 minutes a day, you got
Yep.
to do that. You cool? Okay, great. Sign on the bottom line." And and that was it. And it just kind of went on its own. Um, Gina, my daughter, eventually stopped, but Gerald, and he was always a kind of a sound absorber, if you will. He was like a
Right.
sponge. So
Right.
he'd be as a toddler playing in the sandbox or whatever, and then there'd be some bird doing a bird song in a tree, and he'd imitate that bird's song, and then
Wow.
however many seconds later, then comes the ice cream truck down the road with their song, and he just
Yeah.
switches to imitating the ice cream truck, and the whole
Wow.
time he's just playing in the sandbox. So um, he's always been kind of it's been easy for him to take in sounds
Yeah.
and
That makes
do.
sense.
Yeah, so that's kind of what he's done, and
Wow.
he's loving life.
Well,
Yeah.
when you listen to him, I think he still is in in the sandbox. You know, when you watch what he
Ha!
does, you know, it's like I'm going to take
I
some of
like
this
that.
and put it over here on that, and it's
Mm,
you know everything makes logical sense, no matter how surprising. And so when I was
that's
listening to
good.
that recital, and the link is going to be in the video. Everybody go check it out. The recital
Mm,
that Gerald and John did together is so
thank you.
good, and I wanted to just go through it a little bit here, but. I'm
Mm.
reminded of what Miles said to Herbie upon hearing him for the first time, which was "nice touch." You know, that's Gerald, man. It's like
Mm,
I hear everybody, you know, Art Tatum all the way up to Herbie and
yeah.
Bill and Keith. They're all,
Well,
but
he's,
it's all him.
he's got one of the cool things is that he's got the ability to serve whatever kind of style of music he's
Yes.
playing with the
Yeah.
with the correct, if you will, and necessary outlook. So,
Yeah.
if he's got a swing, that's what it is. If he's got, when he's finished school at USC,
Mm.
got his bachelor's there, and during that 4 year, five, unfortunately, I
Ah,
won't go
I
into
went
that, but
five. I went
yeah, I
five.
mean, I did too, actually, because
Yeah,
I failed music history and said, I
I
don't
did
care, I'm
too.
out of here. I've done enough
Yep.
school, and went on the Rosemont Alexander. I eventually went back and took the one course, got my degree. But anyway,
Yeah.
Gerald was
Woof.
supposed to went to MSM for a year of his study.
And
Uh,
which school is that? MSM?
Manhattan School of Music. I'm sorry.
Manhattan. Okay, cool. Right.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah, he went to
Thornton is
Manhattan
where
School of Music.
you were there when he went to Thornton, right?
Right. And
Okay.
that was I was there before it was called Thornton. So
Oh, okay.
that's how long ago that was.
Well,
So
we are members of the last century, so we're pretty deep that way, you know.
exactly.
So.
Anyway, he got to study, at Manhattan School of Music with Kenny
Wow.
Barron, and
Oh.
one of the things that Kenny, I guess, had him do was imitate Kenny's touch, which is
Ah.
that really special Barry Harris, Tommy Flanagan, Hank Jones
Yep.
thing, you know. Um, all of
I
that to
think
say that Gerald is is pretty broad in his um, touch and in his
right.
understanding of what certain styles of music need. So that's cool.
Well, you notice it right away. I recommend that folks go check this out. I'll just tell you the tunes very quickly. I wrote them down so I'd remember it. If I Should Lose You, one of my
Mm.
favorite standards, and you guys, I just love the presentation. Now, how much is this is like your 2 duo artist share stuff? Is it like is it yeah, you say you
Eh,
just went on stage and boom.
yeah. And uh, the 2 Duo, which is the name, thank you for mentioning it. So that's
Sure.
the latest project. It's
Yep.
basically a chance for me to play duos with two different people.
Wow.
So I play duos with Gerald and I play duos with Renee Marie. At
Ah.
the end of the day, we do come together and do some songs with the three of us, but
Oh,
the
nice.
focus is really duo. Um, and it is it's the same vibe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously for the recording we've settled on some things we wanted to do, but
Right.
when we perform, man, I just I'm there with my bass, Gerald sits at the piano, and I keep my mouth shut.
Wow.
You know, he does it
Man.
all. Yeah, and it just that also was pretty organic, just sort of morphed into that because
Yeah.
before it was father and son, and I would welcome,
Yeah.
hey, glad you're here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna play blah blah, and it just kind of went away from that.
Wow.
I'm at some point Gerald said something like, uh, I don't know if we have to do all this announcing, and I don't know if it was in reference to us or something else. But then
Yeah.
I filed that away and I thought, okay, so let's just play. We don't have to talk.
It
And
was beautiful. I noticed that right away. You went two tunes in and then started talking two more tunes and then you had your
yeah,
chance to speak. Uh
yeah.
uh
But I leave it up to
Beautiful.
him.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Uh Zingaro, man, what a beautiful tune. For those
I
that
love
don't
that
know the
tune.
uh
Love that
Antonio
tune.
Carlos Jobim, and I always crack up when people say, "Yeah, Tom Jobim." It's like,
Yeah, those
Tom,
that's good.
who's
Tommy, I know.
that
Those are
always
the
freaks
people
me
in
out.
the know.
I'm hip. Yeah, that always freaks me out. Did he have a brother? What's the
You know that? Have you heard the version that João Gilberto does on that?
I that maybe be where I've heard it before.
It's
Yeah, it might
yeah.
be. I got to check that out again.
It's on the Amoroso album
Yep.
with the one that has Estate on it.
Oh
I think that
man.
that version just launched that song, in my humble
Yeah.
opinion.
No, I think you're right. I'm gonna put
Cl-
a link for that too. People need to check
Oh
this
yeah,
stuff out. And purchase it. That's another
yeah.
soapbox thing. Is check it out, but yeah, go ahead and actually buy
Buy
it.
it.
Yes, please. Oh, tail of the fingers. Oh my goodness, Mr. PC. Did
Yeah.
you always have that line memorized, or was you had to have? When did you first memorize that line? For those who don't know the tune, it ain't easy.
Yeah. I was an adult when I memorized. I didn't
Yeah,
memorize it as a student, but
right,
I've
right.
I heard it as a student and thought, man, I want to play this tune. So eventually I did learn it.
There it is, the
So
magic
yeah.
sauce. You wanted it and you got it. Uh,
Yeah, man. It's following your heart, right? Did a lot of teaching, obviously. How
yeah, I
many
did, I
students
did.
you must have noticed the difference between the students who really wanted it and the
Yep,
others that were there because they had to take the course and they wanted a good grade.
right,
So,
right.
at the end of the day, they're going to get a grade or whatever the situation is.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I'm preaching to the choir when I tell you the difference between those
Oh,
two types.
It's huge, and you know where I see the young people who really want it, that make me hit the shed a little harder when I hear them, is when I audition the trombonist for Gerald's group, the Monterey Jazz Band. So
Oh.
I get to audition them all the time, and here's like, good gracious, like 10 or 15. These kids, I don't know where they've found the time, but they've been doing the homework, that they'll sound like everybody and have their own thing.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of really talented young people out there right now.
That's so encouraging, man.
Yeah, it is. Because I've, run into my fair share of the others too. That,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just
Yeah, when they
hanging.
yeah, it's just remarkable. When they want it, it's like
Yeah,
who's gonna stop them?
that's it.
Uh, so
Yeah. When I was at North Texas, it was just I loved those students because it was just a hang, and I just like spoon feed. Have you heard this? Check this out. Check this out. And they would just eat it right up. I wouldn't do anything. Those guys.
Mm.
That's yeah, they're the
You know what?
best.
It makes me wonder. Maybe the term teacher is the wrong word
I would
because we
agree.
don't really. You've noticed, and I've noticed.
Yep.
I don't teach these students. They teach themselves. I mean,
Right.
I may guide them and direct them and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
inspire them and everything. But if you're in a classroom of students, you're teaching everybody at the same time.
Right.
However, you know, this person's going to immediately use the information. This person may take a little bit longer. This person may take years. This person maybe not will not use it at all.
Right. Right.
So you ain't teaching.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
they're taking it in maybe, but they teach themselves.
Well, I remember yeah, because these are the mentors that I've surrounded myself with, people of like yourself and Slide Hampton and some other people. And with
Uh,
Slide, oh my gosh, it was always teaching, by demonstration and very few words. And I remember one time I had this event at one of the schools I was teaching at where I wanted to get into the issue of race in the arts. And so a friend of mine was the president of the NAACP in Wisconsin where I was teaching. So I had him in and Slide, and I said, "Man, let's have a round table discussion. I'll just be mediator guy." And I was so excited, and like three people showed up. And I said to Slide, I'm so embarrassed. And he said, "I'll never forget it." He said, "All you can do is leave the door open, and if they come in, they come in." But
yeah, yeah,
but
that's right. Right, he
oof,
was, man. I
uh,
always, I feel you. And it just reminds me that the people that should be there are there.
mm, wow, yep,
You can't go beyond that.
right,
Uh, and the following day it may be packed,
right,
and
right,
the same rule applies. The people that should be there, they're there.
yep.
Yeah,
We,
I likewise I don't fall in the trap of thinking about audience size that way.
that's good.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't man, that's a dark rabbit hole to go down
Woo.
because
Yep.
and sometimes venue owners will try to drag me into that way of
Right.
thinking. I don't do it, man. Mm-mm. It's, because if start concerning myself with how many people are there,
Yeah.
then rather than walk on stage and immediately start serving the music, I
Mm,
walk on stage and I kind of go, "Oh, aren't very many people here today."
dig.
And
Yep.
suddenly, you know, that whole opportunity to express myself self and share that expression
Yeah.
with people is diminished. It's
Right.
overridden by these other wrong thoughts. So I don't, also I'm the kind of person, you may have heard me say this. I don't play music for an audience.
Mm.
I play music for the sake of uplifting the music with my friends, and I
Oh.
present that to an audience.
Oh.
So first I'm combining my energy with my friends to make the music what I can, and
Right.
then it's combining our energy with the audience's energy. And
Mm,
that kind of mindset has helped me um, avoid falling into that trap, because now it's, oh, I'm combining my energy and the band's energy with 20 people that happen to be in the audience,
right.
or
Right.
2,000 people,
Mm,
or whatever the number is. And then it's just a combined energy experience instead
mm.
of me trying to play good or something like that.
Right. Gosh, that's well, that's one of the things and I'm not pandering here at all because you're here. It's just that it's one
Oh.
of the things I admire so much about you is that I get the feeling that you're healthy in the
Yeah.
best possible ways. And that's what you just went through there, man.
Uh-huh.
That's I feel healthier just having heard you say it. Uh and I hope that folks tune in and they check that out because that's just healthier, I think. Happier.
Mm,
That's you know.
yeah. Good. Thank you.
Yes, well, it's an obvious thing that I enjoy, and I've seen you help so many people. One of which was my daughter. When you came, I had you out at University of North Texas when I was there teaching, and my daughter was early on in her life of creativity, and she was freaked out because she just loved everything. And so I said, "Well, here, ask John. He tell you what he thinks." She said, "Well, I love this, and I love that, and I love that. Which one do I do?" And you just said, "Well, you got to do it all, don't you?" And I thought, there it is. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah,
And she
it's
did.
right,
She
right.
has, and she's doing great. So yeah,
Oh, I'm
she's
glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear
yeah.
that.
So isn't it fun when as artists we can hear something, some feedback as to something we have done, and it comes back to us, and we get
Mm,
so that's one of many
hmm.
where you really helped.
Oh,
Uh,
great.
Yeah, I just wanted to just mention that.
Thank
All
you.
right, before we get to the sampler platter music, I just want to just address because talk about fanboy. One of my latest obsessions, and I have many obsessions. One is Jacob Collier. I'm obsessed with his stuff, but I'm also obsessed with Sir Paul McCartney as a composer and as a person. And Kisses on the Bottom, that great project that you and Diana did, both of the Pizzarellis. Oh my gosh, the team that was on this thing. Jeff Hamilton, Kareem Riggins, Vinny Colaiuta. This you found a couple of drummers. Uh Johnny Mandel, the London Symphony Orchestra, Alan Broadbent. Oh my gosh. But what was Paul like? I just gotta know that. How was that hang?
Uh, he was like the most normal guy could imagine running
Oh,
into. He
how
was,
about that?
you know, on day, first of all, it was really hush hush and get a call from Diana's, um, because she basically produced that.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
excuse me. So, got a call from her office. Can you hang on to these dates for recording, possible recording? We'll tell you the details later. It was all hush hush, So it
Oh
was that whole
man.
that thing,
Ooh. Yep.
and then at some point I heard through the grapevine seeping in through, I don't know, a coworker, that maybe it was something with Paul McCartney,
Wow.
uh, which, by the way, initially I had to turn it down because
Mhm.
the dates they offered, I had a clinic someplace, and
Oh.
I,
Wow.
I, to me, your word is your
Yes.
word. That's your honor, So
Yep. Yep.
I said, wow, I really hate to miss out on this, but I've got to go to this school and da, 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 da. Luckily, they changed the dates,
Ah.
not for me, but they
Right.
changed the
Right.
dates,
Right.
and I was available. So, the first
Whew.
session, um, that we did, I walked in, I was introduced to him, with the other guys, and it
Yeah.
was just really warm and friendly. Uh,
Wow.
and then I don't know if it was by the end of the day or the second day, you know, he- um, he gave me a hug to say goodbye or something like that.
Wow.
And, and then the next day, maybe, I walked in, saw him, we smiled, and I gave him a hug, and and that felt really cool. And then like the last day he walks in the room, he initiated the hug, and I
Ah,
just thought, yeah, he was just so normal, so straight, and to
wow.
show you how comfortable he is in his skin, even though he's Sir Paul McCartney,
Right,
um,
right.
he went to the piano because we just figured out the tunes there on the spot. There were no
Right.
arrangements done.
Oh,
And
okay, cool.
so um he said, I'm thinking about doing this tune, and he played something on the piano and he said, this is the sound I'm looking for. I don't know what you call it.
Oh,
And I thought, wow, that's so
man.
cool that
Isn't it though?
he is,
Yeah.
that he is even if he is feeling some embarrassment
Right,
at
right.
not having that musical answer or whatever, he didn't show it, and he
Wow.
humbled himself to us to say, do you have a name for this? Or
Do you
I don't know what
remember
it
what it
is, but
was?
this. No, I don't. I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
But whatever it was,
Yeah.
uh, we ended up playing that.
Man.
So it was incredible how comfy he was. And one of the songs, maybe it's that's the glory of love.
Uh-huh.
Uh, anyway, I think that's the one. We did it a couple of times, did a couple of takes, and he just shook his head. Said, no, I'm not feeling this. It's not, And Diana Krall said, "Hey, before we put this away, I've got an idea. How about if we start with just a duo, with just you and John?"
Ah,
And and so he said, "Okay, let's try it." He was pretty open to trying things that
wow.
were
Yeah,
suggested, and that ended up being the way it went. And
man.
I had on so many levels admiration for him. It was also a pleasure to have a duo spot with Paul McCartney, but
Yeah,
the fact that
absolutely.
he was so open. He was
Yeah.
a like, a musician head, a bebop head. He was just, let's
Right,
try it.
right. Yeah,
His
yeah.
dad was a jazz big band drummer.
That's right. Yeah, and
That's
the
that.
way he was brought up, very similar to jazz musicians, I think,
Hmm.
in a lot of ways. And the way that they all, jazz musicians nowadays have to be experts in everything, including
Hmm.
notation, orchestration, theory at Schenkerian levels. But but also we like to reserve that extemporaneous spot, that is our bread and butter, and those guys, that's all they were extemporaneous and from the heart. And
Hmm. Hmm.
I heard
Exactly.
I heard a thing that interview with George Harrison, and it was all about they'd heard about the jazz chord that was on the other side of town, and they took a bus
Wow.
to go find the jazz, and it ended, and they played it. It was like a B half diminished or something, but it was the jazz
Nice.
chord, and suddenly they were hip.
Yeah.
They
Well, that's
wanted it.
amazing.
Yeah, they
That's so
wanted that.
cool. Well,
Uh,
and also, like I said, his dad played drums. This album came about in part, or maybe even primarily. Um, Paul McCartney's like, "Hey, I'm at this stage in my life.
mm,
Uh, if I don't want if I don't go ahead and record these songs that I grew up with,
yeah.
uh, when will I do it?"
Ah, wow.
So this was totally, I know this isn't going to sell a whole lot of albums, but I want to do this kind of a project.
Yeah. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Talk about healthy. He too seems like a very healthy cat to
Yeah.
me from the
Yeah. It
outside
seems it
looking
to me
in.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, I had a feeling we could have put in like 5 hours worth of stuff, but I'm going to keep us moving. So on the sampler platter, John and I chose two pieces. I mean, there's so many to choose, but because it's the great polymath juggling act, the spinning of plates that John does so well with writer, band leader, bassist. I mean, all of those are a career, and he does all
Thanks,
of them.
man.
Yeah. But two pieces we chose. One, speaking of Diana Krall, is and Tom Jobim.
And Tom,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, good old Tommy Jobim. Uh, how insensitive! And I remember when we chose it, and I've known this piece ever since. Who played it? I think my dear friend Brad Leely programmed it with the 3 o'clock
Mm,
at North Texas when he was there. Uh,
mm.
because I was like, that turned me on to really wanting to write for bass clarinet here in this arrangement.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
How Insensitive, Clayton Hamilton Jazz Orchestra, along with Diana Krall. And John mentioned ahead of time, this is playing around with tension and release. So
Yeah.
I leave it with that. Tell me about How Insensitive, that chart, how it came about.
It's such a, you know, as I as I do, it's such a gorgeous song.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, I mean, the melody, the changes, the bass line, all just,
Yep.
I love the song. And it's one of those songs that pisses you off. You think, how come I couldn't have written that?
Right, right. Yep.
Well, because you're not the genius that Tom Jobim was.
Phew.
Anyway, um, so I was in love with the tune. Diana wanted to do it,
Hmm.
and uh, you know what it's like when you're an arranger. You have parameters that you're given.
Right,
It's going to be this song. Uh, so you've got the melody already. You've got the chord changes. You can alter some of those things if you want to, but
right,
those are
right.
givens. The tempo in many cases.
Hmm.
You know that it's not gonna, pretty much have an idea of how long the arrangement's gonna be.
Right.
Um, you know the vocalist and their approach. Is this a belter? Is this somebody who's kind of chill? You have
She
all
kills it.
these
Yeah.
things that go um, into the arrangement before you start writing,
Right.
and armed with those things, it makes it, frankly, it makes it easier to to write. If
Yeah.
I had to write an arrangement for a vocalist, um, I remember Bill Holman. We were doing a Natalie Cole project together. I was playing
Oh.
on some of his arrangements, and I was writing some arrangements for the same project. Anyway,
Mm.
uh, I was during one of the breaks. I was just standing there talking to Willis, and I said, man, great writing as usual. I so love what you do. And he just kind of did that little smirk thing he does. Huh,
Uh,
thanks. It's like taking candy from a baby.
ah.
and and that's what he was referring to. you
Right.
know
Right.
if somebody says, hey, write me something, boom, then you're like, okay, what do I do? you know
Yes. Yep.
anyway, so with
Too
How
many
Insensitive,
variables. Right.
too
Yeah.
many variables.
Yeah.
So with How Insensitive, what I did was, um armed with the stuff that I just mentioned, I
Hmm.
went, how can I'm always looking for ways of creating contrast and
Right.
tension and release. And the tension, this gave me the chance to mess around with harmonic tension and release,
Mm.
without pulling the ear away from the voice, but trying to
Ah.
enhance the voice.
Yep.
How could I? Hence, I didn't use a whole lot of rhythmic stuff
Right.
because
Yeah. Slow
the
moving. Yep.
mess exactly the
Yep.
message of the song and the melody and the mood asked, in my opinion, asked me to just chill and let sounds sort of happen.
Mm.
And uh, you know, te technically, I kind of wrote over the bar line, so I
Yeah.
would let,
Yep.
rather than follow the chord change on beat one or beat three or wherever it was, I would just sort of let it sort of drip and spill over into the next
Ah.
area, and that's,
Oh,
well,
I
always with
loved it.
some kind. some kind of an end point in sight. But
Right,
those are
right.
the nuts and bolts of it.
Ugh. Well, masterfully done. I really enjoy how it would be some tension, and because you went over the bar line, then it got really crunchy, and then
Uh,
over the bar line, and oh, this is beautiful, and it's God, just
Thank
the
you.
best stuff, man. And those lyrics,
Thank
the
you.
way she
Oh, I know,
delivers
huh?
them. Woo!
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
the other tune we had was from your wonderful brother Jeff, the Jones Brothers. Tell us about that
Mm.
tour de force, man. What a chart!
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Well, it's a song that my brother wrote, obviously for, influenced by his love for Hank, Elvin, and Thad.
yeah.
Uh, and um, I tried in the arrangement. I'll back up a little bit. We used to play the song and my brother's arrangement in the Clayton Brothers. So
Okay, right.
yeah, tried to use as much of uh, the concept and material in the big band arrangement that I did. Um, but there's a bunch of stuff in there. If I listen to, I'm sure you're the same way. When you listen to a composition or arrangement that you've written, somebody on the outside will go, "Oh, Steve, man, that sounds so fresh and new," and you and I will go, "Well, thank you very much, but I know that this was what I wrote was influenced by
Right.
um, something I stole from whatever,
Yep.
from Thad, from Quincy Jones, from you name it, from Mandel, and this came
Yeah.
from my mom's church, and this
Right.
came
Right.
from,
Right.
you could take the whole thing apart.
Yep.
So, um, first of all, of course, there was my brother's arrangement for the
Yeah.
small group. And then I just kind of blew it up and tried to figure out how to make it more um, of an event, if you will. My
Yeah.
brother
Oh
did
yeah.
that in the small group arrangement. I remember
Mm.
there was, he there was a part toward the end where it changed key, and the information before that was what really developing. It was all I think he did a really beautiful job of
Yeah.
building up to that ending in the small group arrangement. I wanted to keep a lot of that stuff.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of what I did, and I actually stole some stuff from Quincy Jones and
Yeah.
conceptually.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that bit
That's a
where
good
it's
store
sort
to
of
shop at. That's a good store to
yeah,
shop at,
I know. He really
Man.
he influenced me big time and was
Yeah.
a dear friend. But
Mm.
anyway, I really borrowed a lot of things from different sources, also from Henry Mancini. There's
Mm.
stuff in there that I learned and first heard from his orchestrations.
Wow. I
So
didn't pick up on that. I'll check that out again.
I was lucky enough to play with him on when I was 19 years old. He had a TV show, and I was the bass player in it just before
Wow.
having to go to Indiana University.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then through my years in Indiana, when he heard that I was going there, he said, "Hey, call this number. Uh, I I contract my touring orchestra out of Bloomington, and I
Ah.
want you to play. I want you to play." So I worked my way through school playing in Henry Mancini's
Ugh.
orchestra.
How cool is that? Isn't it,
Yeah,
I'm always struck by this village that we live in, and how it connects. It's not that huge, but man, it's like a living organism, really. It's such a loving
yeah,
village.
you said that
Uh,
beautifully. That's exactly right.
oh man. Well, thanks. We have holy camole, man. We've about hit the ending point here. You must know at this point that I love you madly, and I'm just so
Man,
glad that we got to hang out today.
me too. That's a two-way street, Steve. I
Oh,
adore you. I
well,
love you. I
thank you,
appreciate you,
man.
man. You're doing such
Thank you.
great, and congrats on this chapter of your life.
Oh, thank you. I'm having a
Yeah,
blast. I
exactly.
learned so much, and it's it feels good to be part of the village and lift cats up in my own little way. And and the ulterior motive is I end up being a better person each time. So it's all about me. I'm learning, so.
All good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And
all right,
this
brother.
is going to be great.
Man, thanks so much for spending this time with me.
But you got
Seriously.
it, man. My pleasure.
All right.
Truly. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll talk soon, I hope.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Man, oh man. I told you it was going to be fun and it was going to be beautiful. John Clayton. A good time was had by all. I knew it, and there it was. How beautiful. So that's it for this episode of You Dig. Coming up next will be Dennis de Blasio, Ingrid Jensen, Jeff Coffin, and Jeff Hamilton. Both the Jeffs are going to show up. There's a lot of folks on the way here at You Dig, and we'll see you then. Please remember to help us out. Help me out. Please, by clicking like and subscribe. Subscribe and like, both of them are going to get us to a point where we can really, really do some fun things with You Dig. So like and subscribe, please. Thank you all for being here. I love you madly, as Duke Ellington would say. And we'll see you next time on You Dig.
WCBC Wiest World.
You Dig is a production of Wiest World Productions 2026.
Wow, man, that was truly lame. Can you not talk any faster than that?
Well, I think I was talking pretty fast and very professional.
Yeah, right. I'll bet you never made any money with voiceovers, right?
No, on the contrary, I've made probably 300 total. I have had 2 gigs.
Yeah, sounds like it, man. I tell you what, you need to stick to trombone.